today, whichever country has the compute capacity is going to rule the roost, is going to have governance efficiency, is going to have military capability, is going to have more and more economic prosperity. So this compute capacity, which has today become a supply chain issue, but at the very heart of it is a sovereign issue. It is not a supply chain issue to my mind. Now, why do I say that it is a sovereign issue or it is an issue of strategic autonomy and less of an issue of supply chain? Is simply because there is a monopoly today that exists in the world of AI. When I say monopoly, I mean three things: design, manufacturing, and export. Design almost entirely is controlled by a few select companies like NVIDIA that have had the first mover advantage, whose chips and GPUs, etc., and the design architecture is being used effectively by virtually all LLMs, generative AI models, so on and so forth. So even if there is a new company that comes about, the resistance to change or to move from the NVIDIA chips to any other company's chip is going to be huge. So they have a design advantage or a design monopoly. The second is the manufacturing monopoly. 90% of the chips today are being manufactured by a company sitting in Taiwan, the TSMC, that manufactures 90% of the world's chips. So therefore, they, in that sense, have the monopoly. And third is the export controls, which countries like the United States of America have imposed. And they have effectively classified the GPUs and the chips, so on and so forth, and this entire AI architecture as a strategic asset for the country. So therefore, even if you have the money to buy these chips, you cannot buy these chips merely because the United States has imposed sanctions or export controls in that sense, right? So three things: design monopoly, manufacturing monopoly, and third is the export control. Now, unfortunately, as we stand today, India doesn't have any of the three. But what India has is the air talent. Our air talent is likely to double by the year 2027. We are world number one when it comes to AI skill penetration. And in that sense, when it comes to talent, it is India that the world looks up to. But talent alone, without compute, in my view, is merely an aspiration, right? And compute without sovereignty will lead to India's dependence on some supply chain, on some country, on some geopolitical relationship. So therefore, it is important that India today and legislators like Krishna and myself today work towards, from an India standpoint, building milestones to secure access at the first level, to have clear-cut direct goals so that India has access to the AI ecosystem. The second is diversifying supply. Once we have access, we must diversify our supply so that we are not dependent merely on one or two, three economies or countries in that sense. And the third thing that we must do is build infra. Have the AI ecosystem here in India, from having data centers to chip manufacturing capabilities, so on and so forth. I fundamentally believe, and I quite strongly hold this view, that in the 20th century, power was controlled by those who had oil, gas, and steel. In the 21st century, power will be controlled by those who have access and AI compute capability, AI capability, as well as chip manufacturing abilities. Whosoever controls this will effectively control the levers of power in the 21st century.